after the news broke that Tesla bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, obviously the entire crypto world is debating, pondering which S&P 500 company is gonna be next. And in today's video, I want to give you some secret insights into that question. So stay tuned and lots of fun with today's video. Hey and welcome to today's video. My name is Julian. On my channel, it's all about making you crypto fit. I discuss the beautiful world of decentralization, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, most of all Bitcoin. Today, we are talking about which company in the S&P 500, so one of the largest companies in the world, which one of those is probably gonna buy Bitcoin next. And I have quite a, opinionated view on that, and I'm gonna give that to you. But before I do that, quick favor. If you are recurring here, wherever you're watching this video, if you're on LinkedIn or Twitter, or if you are on YouTube, or maybe you're listening just to the podcast, please click a heart, give me a like. The algorithms really love that, and it supports this work that I do here for you, where I spend this time with you for free. So I would really love that. And hey, if you're new and you're watching this on podcast, listening, YouTube watching, LinkedIn or Twitter, then consider subscribing, clicking the bell icon, then you'll be notified next time I'll go live, and you're not gonna want to miss this content. I talk about all these topics in a very objective manner. I look at the number, data, the facts, not all the rah-rah hype. This is not my kind of style here. So yeah, before we dive in, do me a favor. Let me know in the comments, which company do you think is gonna buy Bitcoin next? S&P 500, quick heads up, maybe look here, screen share. You can say, you can see some of the largest companies. So this is the 50 largest in the S&P 500. So what do we have? We have Apple, we have Microsoft, we have Amazon, obviously Tesla here, Facebook, Google, Berkshire, Johnson & Johnson, JP Morgan, Chase, Visa, Nvidia, Walt Disney Company, Procter & Gamble, PayPal, United Health, Home Depot, MasterCard, maybe Bank of America, Netflix. So I think, this kind of the list here. Which company do you think is going to be next? So what do I see here? Facebook, Apple, PayPal, Square, says Andrew on Twitter. So PayPal and another Apple. Wow. JP Morgan, Microsoft or Facebook. Very interesting. Okay, so a couple of things before we go in. Obviously, a company needs a couple of things in order to do that. First of all, it has to be part of the largest companies, right? I mean, that's clear. Otherwise, it's not that interesting. I mean, it's cool if any company buys Bitcoin, and it's fantastic, and I cheer for it. But let's be honest. The companies we're really caring about is probably the top 10, the top 20, right? The Teslas of the world. So I guess that's the first thing. The second thing, it needs to have enough money to do so, right? Another one is, hey, even if you're a large company, if you don't have much cash on hand, you can't really buy that. And one thing that you will actually see is most of the companies we're looking at, they have massive war chests. So some of them have dozens of billions of dollars, over $100 billion. Berkshire, for example, insane amount, right? So that's the second one. But now is the third one. It actually needs to have the governance to do that, the approval to do that. And we're going to look at that, right? And that brings me actually into the fourth one, even if it can do all those things. So if it's a large company, obviously we're going to do this automatically. The treasury, going to look at that. Governance. And then the fourth one, does it fit into their entire strategy, right? And is this kind of the culture? And so we're going to kind of analyze it that way with those 4 points. And I'm going to give you a bit of my view on all of that. So let's dive in, and then we probably going to have a winner chicken dinner to see a bit here. So maybe let's go from, let's look at the first question. Obviously, we have it sorted by the largest companies already. So first criteria is in, right? Second criteria, let's think of the war chest. Apple, massive. Microsoft, Amazon, massive. Tesla already bought Facebook, massive. Alphabet, massive. Berkshire, probably the largest one, I would say, from all of those. Obviously, it's always a bit of a different structure. Johnson & Johnson, massive. JP Morgan, massive. Visa, massive. Nvidia, actually, I'm not 100% sure if how big their war chest is. I didn't look. I don't know. Disney, yes. Procter Gamble, yes. PayPal, their war chest is not that big, but yeah, it's not definitely not a. I mean, they're in finance already. United Health, Home Depot, MasterCard. I mean, now we're getting a bit into the smaller companies. I mean, not saying these are small companies, but like there's definitely a small gap down, right? So, but we can see the top 15, the top 20 all would have enough war chest. So now let's think of the governance, right? And on the governance here, you will right away see a massive difference between a couple of companies. First of all, Amazon, founder-led, right? Jeff Bezos until I think Q3 is still gonna be CEO. So this, even though he doesn't have an absolute voting right, there is still a strong dictation what he says, right? I think this is really important. So Apple, I don't think Tim Cook would have enough kind of manipulation of the board or something. Microsoft, no. Amazon definitely has. Tesla with Elon, I mean, by far, right? So Amazon would definitely be someone, right, who could actually push this through, right? The question here is, how would this actually work on Apple? Who would actually push this through, right? I would have a bit of a couple of challenges here, to be honest, right? So just want to highlight that. So Amazon, yeah. Facebook, right? Google, I mean, it's still founder-led, kinda, right? Berkshire, definitely founder-led with Warren. I mean, Berkshire would do what Warren says. Johnson & Johnson, definitely not. JP Morgan, definitely not. Visa, not. All these companies here would definitely not have that anymore, right? So it's really kind of on the top here. Maybe Salesforce.com, Mark Benioff still has some say in there, right? Could still kind of come in and kind of influence it. But if we kind of go this route, and don't forget, adding Bitcoin to your balance sheet is a massive, massive impact, right? It's massive uncertainty. Don't forget, just because you and me are really pro Bitcoin, you need to understand the majority of the investment world, and we're talking about probably over 95%, still consider Bitcoin as either all the way from a scam all the way to like something that's very easy to lose money in, right? So let's just be realistic. So, and especially some of these companies, I mean, they're decades old. They have dinosaurs in there. People who say, you know what? Hey, let's not rock the boat. Why should we rock the boat? We are the largest company already. Hey, we are doing so well already. Why should we risk going against the SEC, having the SEC? Hey, we're already having antitrust lawsuits. We're already having all these things. Let's not rock the boat. And it suddenly becomes very, very difficult to have such a fundamentally challenging decision to add such a risky asset onto your balance sheet, right? So for me, that excludes Apple. And I know the entire investment world right now in crypto is talking about Apple being able to be one of those companies. And I don't think so. I just don't see that. Really not. One thing I do see on Apple is them accepting Bitcoin as a payment, as a form of payment in their entire Apple Pay. This I can see, but that doesn't mean, that's not the question here on what makes Bitcoin come on onto the treasury, right? That's really more the question here. So I just don't see that here. Microsoft, I don't see that here. Now, Amazon with Jeff Bezos, I think that could be something that Jeff would be pushing for. He has been a bit skeptical of Bitcoin. Also, I just don't see how this flows in the entire business model. And I don't think with the antitrust lawsuits that Amazon also has, I just don't see any of those actually adding this. And I know I'm going to go a bit against the main consensus here because Apple is the company that most people kind of talk about, right? That they're going to be the ones that they're going to add it. And I just don't see it, right? On purpose. I just don't see it. Google, I would put them in a very similar category. They're, I mean, just similar Apple, Microsoft. I just don't see it. Berkshire, sorry. Never, ever. Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, never, ever. Johnson & Johnson, it's just a completely different ball game here. They're non-tech, right? I just don't see that. Now, let's go into two companies that could be interesting. JP Morgan and Visa, to be honest, I wouldn't completely discount those two. Here in Singapore, JP Morgan is doing a lot of the central bank digital currency here. Visa has been saying that they're way more open. Now, to be honest, I rather see them also as some of the kind of, well, more of a payment provider than anything else. Scrolling down, obviously here, one that could be a very strong one is PayPal for sure, right? Obviously also Square, but Square's in a totally different league in comparison here. But so just to kind of keep this in mind here. So I skipped one on purpose. And it's the one that I really think could be the one that, well, could be the next one. And to me, that's actually Facebook. It would fit in with a lot of things. It has enough cash on hand. It's founder led. Mark can do whatever he wants in there. He can bully his way through. I'm not saying he is going to. I'm talking about probabilities here. With Libra/DM coming in, I think it makes a lot of sense to kind of just endorse and support the entire ecosystem and kind of share a bit of a positive kind of vibe to the entire ecosystem. I think he would have so much cheering happening, right? So, and him being able to kind of manipulate his kind of perception. And obviously with DM, with the entire payment space, also obviously maybe, to be a bit more independent, kind of this decentralization, kind of counter a bit also with Twitter. So these are all things that I could totally see. So if you're asking me if I had to put money on one of those companies, I would put it on Facebook. That would be the one that I would put it on. Also, it's not really involved in any major kind of lawsuits or issues. Sure, you have these discussions in social media all the time, but compare this to what Apple and Google undergoes right now, Amazon. I mean, these are massive, massive things, right? So that's just what I see here. So yeah, this would be my bet. My bet would be that Facebook is the next one. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think anything I didn't consider, anything that you feel maybe would be a bit different or kind of different approach? Yeah, let's see. I think a lot of people are kind of focusing too much on Apple right now, and I just don't see that happening. But looking forward to get your feedback on that. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, definitely stay tuned, subscribe, because yeah, I go live here almost every day. You don't want to miss this stuff, and don't want to miss this content. Let's see what's going to happen next. So with this, stay safe. Lots of good decisions. Talk soon. Yours truly, Julian. Bye-bye.